Hey guys, it's Miss Mitten. I wanted to show you a tool we're going to use in class that hopefully will get yourself organized and get your information organized. Normally, what I do in class is I keep a composition notebook, and I have one side for notes and the other side for other material that we would use. I found an interactive notebook that we can use on the computer. We'll see how successful it is. But I think for right now, I think it might be a way for you to keep up with your information. We'll keep it on Google Classroom. It'll be on your Google Drive. That way you can study for for quizzes. You can have all the information at the ready, and we can manipulate it the way we need to manipulate it. So this is going to be the interactive notebook number one for New World Encounters, which is what we looked at last week, beginning of the week, end of the previous week. And so what I've done is you've got this template, and I've got New World Encounters here. You're going to put your name, honors, period, whatever. And then if you'll look down, some of these slides are things we're not going to use, and some of them there'll be things that we will use. So here on this labeling an image, I am probably going to insert, and I will do that right now. I will insert a picture of the United States because I think that's going to be important for us to have on here, and you'll have it more than once on here because that, I'll be able to share it. Let's see. Just because I think that that's going to be our, whoops, that's what it is, isn't it? Let me insert it, and I'll make it bigger. And this is the one that you took the test on. So using this arrow to label, we might want to, you can make this bigger. We can label different things on here. Caption this. I'll come up with something. We'll be able to caption it, come up with what are some things that you're thinking about with regard to this picture, or this image. Movable vocabulary. Obviously, this is vocabulary that came up within the unit, or the beginning of this first unit that we looked at, New Encounters. And so you would take the word nomad. Nomad is a group of people who move around based on the game or the weather or things of that nature. They're not sedentary. They don't stay in one spot. So I'm going to take their name and I'm going to put it under group of people, right? Bering Strait. Bering Strait is that landmass that the Eurasians that came from Russia, and they moved, or Asia, and moved across the land to Alaska, and then they ended up getting stuck over here in the North American continent. So this would be a place where you would put those kinds of things together and just have them so that you'll be able to study. Oops, I don't want groups of people there, do I? All right. I'll remove my nomads, maybe. Well, no, I won't. Oh, goodness. Then you have a digital diorama or a map. And so, and I'm just playing around with it here. I'll let you do this how you want to do it. But you got a digital map of the United States. Obviously, this is water. These are people, groups of people. You got mountains here. You've got ships. These icons, obviously, the car icon isn't going to work. The bus icon isn't going to work. So I'm just going to delete that, right? So powers of government, buildings, thing, we can figure out the icons, okay? Comic strip, may not need that for this one. I don't really have a question for you to do on this one. I'll think about it though. You never know. I might come up with something. And then here will be like a lab report or a series of pictures. But this one for our class would obviously be a pictures and definitions, or pictures and explanations to it. Coordinate planes, you have to figure out how to use that for English and history. Let's figure it out. Use your own ideas here. Likert scale, same thing. May ask you a question and see where you fall on it. Interactive poster, this definitely will be used. And again, it's going to be more geared toward, this is a picture of X, and then you're going to explain, just like you did with your topic. that you made a slideshow for, or slide for me, this would be what this would be used for. So we might just insert your slide right into that. Shades of meaning, definitely we'll use this as we go through, because we'll be able to look at different words in different ways that you can kind of manipulate the word to make it stronger or softer. Sticky note for brainstorming, so if you have an idea or a question, you could put those up there and then type something in. Writer's notebook pre-writing, again, at the end of this unit, you will have a test. Part of that test will be an essay. So you're going to want to make sure you take notes on things that you think are very, very important with regard to the New World, and not just the New World as far as England is concerned, because that's what we think about when we think about, oh, the colonists come over, they come over from England. Yes, however, there were already natives here, Native Americans here, you had the Spanish here, you had the French here. So this is a place for you just to kind of generate ideas. Drafting, again, you got your drafting, and we'll go through this, and I'll probably fix this up a little bit so that we're not in just idea one, idea two. It's going to be point one, point two, because most of the writing that we'll do is argumentative. Scientific method, you might even use this for science class. You don't know how we'll do this here, although it could be definitely ask a question and then make a hypothesis. I believe that, or the Christopher Columbus hypothesis. Christopher Columbus did more harm than good than when he came to the Americas. And then what am I going to do to prove that? So my conclusion would be, how would I prove that? What happened? Engineering process, again, this might be for a creative project that we do, but right now we won't use that one for this particular unit. So you're going to have one of these for each of the units that we do, and we will complete them. They will be in Google Classroom, and on Google Classroom, so you'll be able to manipulate them. I'll be able to look at them, and that's what we're going to do. All right, so today in class, what we're going to do is we're going to start this first digital notebook, this interactive notebook. When you finish, and we'll need to come up with a list of the things that you need to have on there, most likely the things from your notes. And I may help you with this one. I may pretty much start it for you and then let you kind of move things around to play with it. And then the second one will be more of a, this one will be an I do. I'll do this one. Let's just do it that way. I'll do this one. And then you'll have a couple of things that you'll have to put into place. Next one we'll do together, and that's going to be the one on English settlements, which we're going to start talking about today. And then the third one you'll do. So then we can kind of move through. This is just a different way of doing a notebook on paper. And unfortunately, given the way the world is today, we have to come up with new solutions. And so that's what we do. We problem solve. So this is one way that we're going to problem solve. Those of you that have trouble with the technology, I think this might be a pretty good solution. We will see. Who knows? Hey, trial and error. That's what we do. Monitor and adjust. So we're in it together. We'll figure it out, and I'm not going to worry too much about it. The rest of the day, so I'm going to be working on this, putting this together. While I do that, you're going to be doing two different things. First thing, on Google Classroom, you'll have this U.S. History Map Interactive, and it goes through some of this geography. Some of us did great on the 50 states and the capitals. Some of us had a little trouble figuring out where things were. Why is that important? Well, it's important because you need to know that if I say, they grew tobacco in Virginia, you need to know where Virginia is in relation to, say, New York, where there would have been more industry. So you need to know what's different about the areas, okay? And there are multiple regions of our country that you need to be aware of, all right? And it's also, it completely changes because of this European colonization, whether it's French, Spanish, English, whatever. It completely changes, all right? And the Native Americans, the people that were here before, are completely either massacred, just gone, or displaced. And so we need to know where they ended up going. And then we want to think, remember again, why do people do the things they do? So this is an important lesson that we are learning so that we can move into the 1800s and understand this idea of manifest destiny and divine right, and why the men and women of the 19th century believed they could do what they did. All right, that's what we want to find out. So you're going to do this activity, and it goes through, and I'll just take you through. Um, First off, is just basically finding stuff on a map. You have the 50 states, and notice that they're broken down into regions, the Native Americans, and you can see where they are located, and you can find out more about each of those tribes. Especially look at Arkansas. You got Chickasaw, uh, mostly over here on the eastern side of Arkansas, but look and see where we are, and remember that they crossed from up here down. Alaska's down here, but it should be up here. They crossed from that Bering Strait over, and then they came down through. So you'll notice that there are a lot of tribes here. This isn't just a land that is empty, devoid of people. It is completely full of tribes. Whether they got along or not, that's another story. Then we have the colonists, and you can look through here and go through this and learn more about colonies, European colonies. And then we got the nation expands. This one is going a little bit further than I want you to go. However, I don't think it hurts to do this because we had the Louisiana Purchase, which we're going to talk about after 1800. You've got these different ways that the United States gained land, so you want to be able to do that. And then kind of test your skills, okay? So test it, make sure that you understand what's happening, that what you've learned or what you've looked at works. From there, you're going to go on to the English settlement, which is our second interactive notebook. And I will share a template with you on that, and I will share some questions and some images for you to respond to. There's a timeline, there's the key events. You'll watch this video, take notes again. You might want to take notes on the interactive notebook if you've got when I get put that up there, and you can just take notes over here further down on brainstorming or pre-writing. That's where I would take my notes, or things that are interesting to me about that topic. Remember to make a copy of the slide. All you need to go up, do is make a copy of the slide. Oh, cancel, don't do that. Slide, duplicate slide, and we'll give you a second one. So as many notes as you need to take, this is a great place to keep it, and we'll name it Interactive Notebook 2, and then it'll be English Settlement. So that's what we're doing today. Those of you that are at home, please kind of stay with me here, and I think this is going to be a way for us to recreate the composition notebook that I normally have my students keep. We will do these for the English part too. Obviously, there are going to be rhetorical devices and analytical things that we'll need to understand, and we will create a notebook for those, and those will all stay in Google Classroom, and you'll be able to keep those and look back at them and use them to study, and there'll be study guides, and I think that will work. But again, if it's not working for you, please come talk to me. Don't sit and suffer in silence, because that doesn't do anybody any good. And then by the time I'm ready to move on, you're like, whoa, time out. I'm not even anywhere near where you are. So one step at a time. I'll create the first one for you, the New World Encounters. While I'm doing that, you're going to go to the U.S. history map interactive. That's number one. And then number two, you're going to then go to the English settlement videos and take notes and watch those and look at the timeline, take and make some notes on that. Okay. And then tomorrow we will look through, hopefully, we'll be able to look back at New World Encounters and then move on to English settlements so we can move through, because I would really like to get to 1800. Gosh, definitely before the end of this month, September, so that we can begin with Jefferson and Hamilton in 1800. So that's the assignment. Do the best you can. If you have questions, email me or raise your hand, or somehow smoke signals, whatever you need to do to let me know. All right, and we'll work it out together. All right, guys, good luck.